Hello viewers, welcome to our channel BSc to NSC. I am Mahesh. I am planning to create a playlist which will contain videos about investing, and this is going to be the very first video in that series. So whatever I am going to share in all these videos is my personal view about investing based on my experience, whatever I have read online, offline, and the discussion that I have had with other investors. Okay, before we get started, I would like to show you this book, Art of Stock Investing, which is written by Manikantan. And this is a very simple book which you can maybe finish it off in an hour. And this is for those who would like to know more about equity markets, who wants to know about investments. Free PDF copy of this book is available, and you just have to fill in the details in the link provided in the description of this video. So you will be getting the PDF copy in your email. And there are some discount codes for our partner products. If you want to avail those, you can again visit a link that is available in the description. Okay. Now let's get back to the topic. Investing. What is investing? Many would say deploying capital to earn some returns is investing. Yeah, that's correct. But some people think savings as investing. Savings is different, investing is different. Savings is something like from your income, when you meet all your expenses, whatever left over, that is savings. So you saved something. Why do we have to save? We save money for any unforeseen expenses like any medical emergency. So that is pure savings. But investing is different. So people who have enough savings, only those they need to do investing. So without having any saving, please do not invest. Because why people invest? People invest for their future long-term life goals, either for their retirement or for their child education or for their child marriage. So those are very long-term goals where you plan ahead like 15 years, 20 years. Without savings, if you do start those investments, and in case of any financial emergency, most likely you will liquidate those investments, and all your investment planning for your long-term goal will go for a toss. So again you have to restart from scratch. So without having enough savings, never go into investing. So we will discuss more about investing in the subsequent videos, but in this video I would like to explain what are things that one has to do before starting investing. Okay, we can categorize people into three. People who go for a job, salaried. The other one is self-employed, like lawyers, doctors who depend on their profession. And businessmen, like people who maybe is like someone who manufactures a product. They buy the raw materials, they convert into a product, and then they sell the product to the market. So these are three different categories. Say you have earnings in a month and you have expenses in a month. The savings is the difference between these two. Obviously everyone would like to have their earnings higher than their expenses. So how to increase that difference? The earnings should be higher, expenses should be lower. Say for example, if you wanted to, you can do it in two ways. You can reduce your expenses or increase your earnings. But expenses beyond a point you cannot reduce, because everyone would like to have a decent lifestyle. So beyond a point you cannot reduce your expenses. So the other option that is available is increase your earnings. Say if you are a salaried, like you are an employee of a firm. So how to increase your monthly take-home salary? Either you will have to work for longer hours, you upgrade your skill set, you take a promotion, or you change your job looking for a higher salary. So that is what people like salaried people do to increase their earnings. The self-employed, say for example a doctor, you are running a clinic, say morning for 4 hours, evening for 3 hours. If you want to have higher monthly income, either you have to increase your fees, consulting fee, but you cannot increase beyond a point. So because the people who come to consult you will reduce. So you have to work for longer hours. So that is what the self-employed has to do. If you are doing a business, then you can improve your efficiency by controlling the cost in the process in which you convert the raw material into a product. Or you will have to market your product and price your product competitively and then increase the sales. So that is up to the strategies followed by the business people. That's how you increase your earnings. Knowing or unknowingly, most of the people who fall into these categories are also investors. Like, you have money in the bank account, you put in fixed deposit, or you buy an insurance policy like either a ULIP or just a LIC policy for your children or for yourself for that matter, or you buy gold, or you buy a property, a rental property, or empty land. So all these are different investments that you do if you have enough savings. So the first thing is you should save first and then you should do investments. So before you start your investments, what are things that you need to take care? You need to have, again, the points that I'm going to say now is my personal view. You can have your own viewpoint for this. So what I'm saying is like you should have, not you, everyone should have 6 months of expenses as a cash balance in your bank account. You should also have similar 6 months of expenses that you may incur as a cash at your home. So effectively, if you are fired from your job or you shut down your business, so for next 1 year you should not be worried financially. So that 1 year time is for you to go into a new job or start a new business. So you should have sufficient cash balance, that is a liquid cash at your disposal for 1 year, 6 months in bank and the rest 6 months as cash with you. In a family, not everybody will be earning. So for those who earn a lot or those who just earn, you have to have a term policy. Don't add any add-ons like critical illness and nothing. So you just need a plain term policy which will be equivalent to at least 10 to 20 times your yearly earnings. Say for example, if you are earning 10 lakhs per year, then the insurance coverage in your term policy should be at least 50 lakhs or 1 crore. That is up to you whether how much you can afford to pay the premium. You need not have till like say 80 years, 90 years. You can have the term policy maybe only till 60 years because that is the period one would be earning. Beyond 60, most of will be like retired. So you should have a term policy for the earning member. So this is the third thing that you have to do. And the fourth thing is, for the entire family, you should have a very good health insurance cover. That is very, very important because the emergency that anyone will get, which will turn all your investment plans upside down, is medical emergency. And nowadays, everything has become costly on the medical side. So if you go for an operation, it may cost you like 5 lakhs, 7 lakhs or 10 lakhs. So have a very good health insurance policy covering your entire family, all the members, in your parents, for you, your spouse and your children, everyone, a good health insurance policy. Don't go for like very little coverage. Go for a very good coverage because in the coming years, maybe another 10 years down the line, your hospital expenses may be higher than what you have today. So go for a very good health insurance coverage. So these are the 4 things that one has to do. I'll just do a quick recap. You should have at least 6 months expenses as a balance in your bank account. That is point number 1. 6 month expenses as a hot cash with you at home. That is point number 2. You should have a term policy for the earning member. And point number 4 is you should have a very good health coverage for your entire family. When you have all these, then you are good enough to start investing. Okay, investing. Investing can be done in different asset classes. There are various asset classes where you can deploy your capital. So everyone wants to do an investment where they will get return which is higher than inflation. If your returns are lower than inflation, then you are not doing the investment properly. And every investment that you do, either you put in fixed deposit or you put in mutual funds or you directly buy equity stock, every investment has its own risk. You need to understand the risk involved and you should decide whether you are able to take that risk. Say for example, you have your money in bank or you put a fixed deposit. You know what happened to PMC Bank, Yes Bank, RBI imposed restrictions on the withdrawals though it may be for a shorter period, but still there is a risk involved. And you should know the amount of the insurance coverage that is available given by the government for the bank deposits. So that is on banks. Then you take mutual funds. Mutual funds are relatively safe, but still it has some risk. You should know what happened to Franklin Templeton. They wound up some 6 funds and the investors in those funds got stuck. So it will take some time for them to get back money, but still this is just an example where there is a risk involved in mutual funds as well. And equity, when you invest your money in equity like buying shares, again there are many risks involved. Whether you understand the company's business, what type of business you are planning to buy or you are buying it. Say for example, people invested in Suzlon Energy, which was part of Nifty 50 a decade back. Or say for that matter DHFL, Vakranchi. So the business collapsed and the investors who did not get out, most of their capital got eroded. I will say like 90% of the capital got eroded. So this is the risk involved by investing directly into equity, that is onto stocks, individual stocks. There is another incident recently at the broker end as well, that is Carvey. So the broker misused the funds and their license was cancelled. So there is a risk involved that as well. So there are different risks involved on any type of investment that you do. So you should understand the risks involved, whether you are able to take such a kind of risk, what is your financial situation. There are various factors that you have to consider before you decide the asset classes where you want to invest. And as I said, there are different asset classes. It can be either equity, it can be a fixed income, or it can be like precious metals, like people buy gold or silver, or some people want to invest in real estate, either by buying a rental property where they will get rental yields month on month, or they just wanted to buy some land which they can sell it at a later date at an appreciated value by making some capital gains. So these are like 4 different types of asset classes. There are many, but I just stick to these commonly used investment asset classes: equity, fixed income, precious metals, and real estate. And in the next video, we will discuss about each of these in detail. Thank you. You can comment on this video if you have any questions. I will be happy to respond. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you. See you in the next video.